This is
One
the, okay.
It's preparing to stream. It's a little bit delayed. Okay, we're live, guys.
All right, hello. This is the Salem Public Library Advisory Board. It's June 10th and 2020, and I'm calling the meeting to order. First is the approval of minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? I don't hear any, so
Excuse me, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think I brought up last time that I was considering not applying, but I hadn't actually decided. So rather than saying that I would not be applying for another term, if you could change it to that I was like considering whether I would.
Oh, my apologies there, Francine. I thought we had actually made that change. So
oh, okay.
That's my bad, and we can definitely do that with the changes as amended.
Thank you.
Obviously, you guys have to vote on that, but at this point.
Okay. Any other additions or corrections? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Francine. All in favor of approving the minutes with the one correction, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, we've approved the minutes. Did we receive any public comment?
We didn't receive any public comment.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
There was no public comment.
Okay, there's no public comment, so we will go to information items. Teen Advisory Board, do you have an update for us? All right, take it away.
So TAB has helped Sonia this month to test ideas for virtual summer programming. We've had a movie night, art night, and game night on Zoom, which both worked out well. Sonia will be doing similar events for the public this summer, and TAB asked if we could figure out some way to keep up the tradition of the teen talent show. So we are going to try and live stream events where we show pre-recorded talent acts at the end of the summer. We have 4 seniors graduating out of TAB this summer: Talia Ruyer, Sam Tolado, Kevin Garcia, and Camilla Blake. We are discussing how our usual summer recruitment will look, and applications online will probably probably interviews on Zoom.
We also gave Sonia input about craft or take and make kits this summer, similar to what we've had before in the teen scene, and possible games for the new Switch, which will be added to the teen area due to a recent grant from the Salem Public Library Foundation. Yesterday, we had our 3rd virtual exchange meeting where we got to talk with members of another teen advisory board. This time, we were able to get outside of Oregon, and we talked to TAB members from Fishers, Indiana, which is outside of Indianapolis. So that was really cool to see a different perspective. It was a lively hour of conversation. We found we have a lot in common with other library nerds. Apparently, it's a universal thing. That's all.
All right, thank you. It sounds like the teens are doing a lot of different events, and they have some excitement going, and that's what we always want, because we want our youth to love the library and keep it going. Any questions for the teens? All right, thank you so much. Chair's report is next. I submitted a written report I just wanted to add a little bit that I got a chance to tour the renovation happening at the main library. You know, wore the hard hat and million things and mask and boots and everything. But it was very, very exciting. And I am so looking forward to that new library. It is going to be bright, light. It's going to just wow this city, I think. So that's something we can all look forward to. Hopefully, like what, summer 2020 or 21?
We're in summer 2020, so
That's
2021.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well,
roughly a little over a year.
yeah, that's not really that much longer. I mean, a year, we can make it. So that's my report. Were there any questions about my report? Okay, on we move. City Librarian's report. Sarah gave us a written report. Is there anything else you want to add, Sarah?
I just did want to say that it looks like we'll be able to expand the curbside program soon, really soon, like next week. So be on the lookout for the announcements of that as we start to push that out more broadly.
That went really well, in my opinion.
Thank you, Gretchen. I appreciate that, and I know the staff appreciate that too.
Is the Temecula system distributing books now from other libraries?
No, at this point, I believe that the college has to actually declare the courier to be an essential service to get them back up and running. As far as I know, the college has not actually come back in or anything like that. They're still a closed campus. In fact, we've been doing the CCRLS stuff with them involving the campus, and it's all been virtual. So once that happens, then we have the option to join in with everyone else, which I believe we'll be looking for ways to do.
I would call the library an essential service, but
Well, and it's the courier, not the library there, just the courier.
yes.
One thing that Louise brought up to me, and I was pretty much in the dark about it, was I thought at this point our children were having a no fine policy, because I thought that's what had been done. So I told her I thought the librarians had it wrong when they told her that wasn't the case. But so, Sarah, in my memory that that had happened. So can you?
So if you look back through the 2018 notes, the lab had recommended that we take to council the possibility of going fine-free for children's materials. And then the next month, after doing some research, I brought back to the lab that I would like to go the whole hog and do away with fines entirely for the accessibility standpoint. And there are a lot of things that come up with the children's materials. You know, what do we consider a child's item? What are we considering children's cards? Things like that. Like if it's a Harry Potter and it's in the adult collection or the teen collection, is it still considered children's material? So on and so forth. So we had talked about that, and the lab had recommended at that time to have me come back with a bigger proposal, and then we never got to that point. We had a lot of very busy meetings right after that where we didn't get to that. And so what I would like to do is actually make it a part of our strategic planning process that we do this summer as well. I know it's a big one for removing the barriers to service and really upping accessibility. So I would like to have that discussion as a part of our overall strategic planning discussion.
Do we have any idea of what sort of the response of city council could possibly be? I mean, did we kind of take the child fine thing to them?
It actually came from them. Somebody went to council to talk about how they would like to see us do that. But it is a part, it needs to be a part of the budgeted process as well. You know, and so thinking about it in terms of our library budget. So that that came from Councillor Anderson. More specifically, I met with him and he wanted to talk about that. I believe the person who brought it to council and talked about it at council was in his ward. So I know that there are probably some that would support it, but I don't know the overall temperature of everyone. And we have new councillors coming on board as well.
Okay, any other questions for Sarah? All right, Carol, do you have a Friends of the Library report?
She's muted.
Carol?
We can't hear you, Carol.
There you go. Okay. Now you can hear me? Yes. Great.
Yes.
Thank you, Louise. We reopened the store last week. On Wednesday, we had a very good opening week. Our hours have changed. We will be open Tuesday through Saturday, 10:30 to 5. And, you know, maybe when things get a little less crazy, we'll expand back to more hours. But for right now, that's what's going on. We're open and Tuesday through Saturday. So that's it.
Thanks, Carol. Helen, did you have something to add?
Oh, no, I was just applauding.
Okay. I didn't
Thank you,
realize that.
Callan.
So, Carol, what are you all doing okay with, you know, you didn't have any revenue for what, like 2 months?
Correct. We did get a very good PPP loan. I think I mentioned that last time, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, we bled a lot of money into rent and utilities while we were shut, but you know, what can we do? I think that, you know, getting Dana paid was the key thing for us. So, you know, I think we're going to be all right. It's, you know, it's not great to have lost all that money, but you know, what can we do?
I hear
hope
ya.
we have a lot of good business.
Would it be possible, since we're doing this contactless pickup, to put a little sign where those books are and just say, hey, you know, the Friends of the Library is just a block away or 2 blocks away?
I'll get you a poster if we can put it up, Sarah.
That's fine with me.
Okay,
Bring it
will
up.
do. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
And Carol,
How about,
are you
how
taking,
about even inserts, like a insert notice?
We could do both. That's a good idea.
Carol, are you taking books in as well?
Yes, we are. We are accepting donations.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I went yesterday and bought like 6 cards. It's the greatest place to buy cards. Okay. Louise graciously submitted her foundation report. Are there any questions about that? All right, this is such an easy meeting. Okay, discussion items. I wrote a couple of guidelines for use of our funds. I hope everyone got a chance to read them. They were very general. It's just a way to start the conversation going, because I do feel like we have these funds, we can use them, and it might be beneficial to have some kind of guidelines of how we use them. And so does anybody have feedback? Do they think they're crap? Do they think they're great? Do they think they need more specificity? Go. Francine, did you?
I haven't had it. I'm looking to see if I can bring them up on my phone. I must have missed that email. My phone is, so
I can.
I'll just,
I could read them. Does anybody want me to read them?
Yes, please.
thank you.
Number one, the board will give priority to fund projects that promote and align with the Salem Library strategic plan goals. Pretty straightforward, that if it aligns with our strategic plan, which is, you know, this as I understand the strategic plan is like this is what we want to have and have happen in our library. These are the values that we have. These are what we want to have happen. So we would fund projects that align with that. Number two, the board will give priority to projects of our library partner organizations, the Salem Public Library Foundation and the Friends of the Salem Library. So after, okay, the board will give priority to projects of our library partner organizations, the foundation and the Friends. So that makes sense to me, because we have funds, foundation has funds, the Friends have funds, but we're all working together to make the library a better place. And if one of those groups is floundering or wants support, like we support Salem Reach, I think that is a priority also. And then number three was kind of broader. The board will seek to use lab funds for innovative and expansive programs at the Salem Public Library. And I put this in because I feel like we need a way to say we can use our funds in sort of new and different ways, like maybe to subsidize parking, but I didn't say that specifically. And other things. It's not just parking. You know, maybe somebody has this, you know, wild but wonderful idea, and we can go, wow, this is a way to use our funds instead of just letting them sit there. So now I'm just going to say, do we want to adopt this or not? And let's not have too much of an awkward silence.
I like it.
Can I clarify something though, Lois? Mark's not here, but if he were, I know he would want to get the clarity on how, do you want this adopted into the bylaws? Do you want it just to be sort of operating things that are not necessarily included in the bylaws, but are more of a procedure for the lab? How would you like us to include it on the staff?
Well, that's a great question, and I really miss the fact that Mark isn't here. I was not thinking to add it to the bylaws. I think this is more sort of an operating procedure, and it would be sort of like not an addendum to the bylaws, but it's just something that we would.
Like an internal operating procedure type.
Correct. So if anybody has anything to add, let me know. Otherwise, I think I will put it as a discussion, an action item for later to adopt these as part of our internal operating. Okay, Catherine.
Yeah, I think all three of them are really good and address three important areas and provide flexibility, the last one, for unanticipated things we might want to do. I don't know if the group thinks that there should be any more specificity for any of them, but certainly they cover all the, I think, the broad areas that the lab would want to consider. And I don't know if more specificity is needed. That might be just fine. We've got. Anybody else think that they need to be more specific, or are they good as they are?
I think they're good as they are.
Okay, thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Gretchen. Unless there's an objection, I will move them to the action item part of our meeting. All right.
I think you have to do a motion for that, Lois.
Okay.
You need another person to make the motion.
Well, it really, according to Robert's rules, the chair is not really supposed to make motions. So yes, Gretchen.
I move that we put them in action items.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. About motion has been made and seconded that we move the guidelines for the use of lab funds to to become an action item. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Say no. Okay, we will move that to an action item. Next on the agenda is board bylaws. So we've talked about this several times to change to the wording in our bylaws to that a nominating committee may be appointed instead of shall be appointed, and that we will also take out the word additional from the line, additional nominations may be made from the floor at that time. So the final wording would be, for the change, the final wording would be a nominating committee, and this is, excuse me, Article 3, Officers, Section 6. A nominating committee may be appointed by the chair in June and may present a slate of officers at the September meeting. Nominations may be made from the floor at that time. Any discussion about that? Hearing none, I will go on. The next item is library parkade options. Sarah.
So, hi. I know that this is a topic very near and dear to Lois's heart. So basically we are talking kind of, while we're doing all of this other COVID-related stuff about what happens with parking still in the future. Because while it isn't a part of the seismic project, it is still a nice thing to, if we're going to make a change, to make the change when we're doing this work and when everything is closed, to move back in with a change to the parking. And we also know that the meters are outdated technology. There's not very many companies that even do the maintenance on them. And so, you know, they're really at their end of life as it is anyway. And so there are 3 different possibilities. Now, there may be other possibilities that come up or are presented as well on ways to handle parking in the library. But I would very much appreciate if I could get a temperature from you guys or a motion or anything like that on what of the 3 that I presented in the city librarian's report is really the one that strikes you as the best option. I presented the options and the pros and cons in the library advisory board report from me. So the 3 options are just totally free for all, you know, option of there being no signage, no kiosk, nothing, just anybody can park at any time. Now, obviously, there are a lot of pros to that, being that there's no manpower required for it. Nobody has to monitor it. But there are some cons too, in that there was a very deep feeling that that parking, the barrier that would come from that is that that lot would be full all of the time, and patrons wouldn't be able to actually use it because it would be used for downtown businesses. So there's that option. There's also the option of the 3-hour limited free parking that you see downtown as well, with the green and white signs that, you know, as long as you have moved your car within that 3 hours to, and, you know, I think it's block by block. So basically you could park in the parkade for 1 3-hour period per day. And that would require enforcement and things like that, but it would be free parking for a good amount of time for all of our patrons. And then the last option is the option that we've kind of been talking about a lot, which is some sort of hybrid model of a free and paid. So we could still have a kiosk that is a solar powered kiosk. You've seen those, the City of Salem credit card kiosks for various blocks downtown as well. It would be that same technology that we would use at the parkade. And we would, it has some flexibility, so we would be able to really program it to work ways that we would want. So if we want to have an amount of time that's free, we could do that. And people would just need to put in their credit card information. They could get the first amount of time free and then put in how much they, how long they think they're going to be there. And then it would charge them for anything over that, the free time period. Does anybody want to discuss? I'm happy to hear what your thoughts are on this and what you think of the pros and cons, and if there's anything that I'm missing.
Well, my one concern is people needing to have a credit card in order to use it.
You would be able to use cash as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Gretchen's comment. And I really like option 2. I just want to say, I feel like that really gives people, especially people who have strollers and several children who at the last minute need to go to the bathroom and forgot their book or whatever, you know, time to negotiate a visit, whether it's, you know, 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever. But I think that I like that better than having all day, all free for all comers, because of the barrier that it would be higher risk for abuse. And also not having to have people do that kind of planning ahead of time about how long they're going to be there, because many times people get called away, you know, one of their kids at school throws up or something, you know, and so they may not be there as long as they expected. Or I just really like your second one.
Catherine?
I agree. I strongly favor number 2. I think 3 hours is consistent with the parking allowed downtown, so people are used to that. You know, 3-hour limit. It's plenty of time for 95% of anybody to do everything that they want to do. I've lived in several other states and I've never run into any paid parking at a library. I know it's different in some cities here in Salem, but I mean, schools, you don't have to park, doctor's offices, hospitals, you don't have to, pay. Your library is an essential service. Plus you have to, you generally stay a little longer there than you do at some of these other places. I think that would be perfect. 3 hours.
I concur.
No meters, simple.
As much as I would love free unlimited parking, I know that there would be abuse of that, or at least probably. I agree that the 3-hour parking is perfect. I mean, 3 hours is a long time to be at the library. And so I think that's a good amount of time. You can go to the story hour and still have 2 more hours or however much. You can go to the discovery room, can spend an hour there, spend an hour taking your kids looking at books. There's no revenue except, so how would they do that? How would they know if you stayed over 3 hours?
The same way that they do downtown parking enforcement.
So there would be some cost to sort of walking around. Okay. Anybody else want to weigh in on this? Well, I'm just happy as can be about the fact that we might have free parking. I'm so happy that I might just go off the board because now my life is fulfilled. No, okay. Anyway, that of course, Sarah, this doesn't mean this is what we're going to get, correct?
Right. It doesn't mean it's what we're going to get, but it does help us to have the recommendation from you guys on the direction you'd like to take, particularly for these 3 options that we've been discussing a lot lately, but other options may come up. You know, none of this is a done deal, but it is really helpful to have a direction from you guys that you prefer.
Well, I think along with this, I mean, we just partner with the parkade that's across over at the Pringle Plaza and downtown and makes it so everybody knows what's going on.
And this does go through urban development. Parking services are part of urban development. And so a lot of this does hinge on their assessments and things like that. And what they want to do in terms of tying us into other parkades and things like that. But yes, ideally, I think that would be kind of the goal.
So Sarah, what do you need anything from us at this point? Would you want a letter from Lab saying this is we think that the 3-hour option would be a good use of the library, whatever, or you want us to testify or just
so I think it would be great if we had a motion, and if you would like to write a letter of support or and also testify when it does go eventually to council, because it will eventually be a council matter at some point. If you'd like to do that, then we can do that too. This is just to start a conversation, really, but I think a motion of support would really go a ways to helping.
Okay, does anybody have anything else to say about this? Okay, then I guess we need a motion to put this in an action item.
Can I say something? I think that the motion should include that 88% of the people in the orange survey indicated that the parking fees are a barrier to their use of the library. I think that is I remember that very clearly. 88% of people said that was the, you know, that they had issues with the library parking charges. And I think that when the city council hears that, that's a powerful percentage. That's a study that they funded. So it legitimizes it.
Yeah, we can put in whatever you guys want, we can put in the statistics that speak to the parking.
Francine, do you actually want that in the motion, or would that be something that we would want to write in the letter or when we testify, or do you want it in the motion?
No, I think it has to be in the letter and it has to be in the testimony. Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, I need a motion then to put this into an action item.
Okay, can I say, I may not say it the correct way, but I move that we put the proposal number 2 from the city librarian's report on parking to be added as an action item on the agenda.
Well stated. We need a second.
Second.
Catherine seconded. Okay, all in favor of putting this on an action item, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say no.
Did we just lose you, Lois?
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
You're back, but we
I
don't
am?
see your photo. Now she's
You
muted.
need to press the video button. There we are.
She said she was leaving.
There she is.
She's still muted.
Hit the space bar.
There I am. I'm back. Okay, so let's do our action items. And unless, does anybody else have anything else to bring up to discuss? Okay. I'm gone again. There. So our first action item will be the guidelines for the use of lab funds. I guess I need a motion to, the motion would say I can't make a motion because I'm the president. I move that we adopt the guidelines for use of lab funds as written in the chair's report.
Okay, I move that we adopt the chair's report for the recommendations for the use of lab funds.
Okay, I need a second.
I second.
Gretchen is our great seconder and motion maker. All in favor of adopting these guidelines, say as part of, as stated, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I need a motion about the change in the bylaws concerning the nominating committee. So you would say, I move that we amend the bylaws, Article 3, Section 6.
We lost her.
Hello?
Okay.
I move that we amend the bylaws, Article 3, Section 6, to adopt the language proposed by Lois this evening.
Thank you. I need a second.
I'll second.
I'll second,
All in favor of the bylaw amendment as read and today, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
All opposed, say no. Okay, we've passed that. Now we go to the option, the parkade options. We need a motion that, I think we should not just say the second option. We should say the 3-hour sign option.
I was going to suggest that. Thank you, Lois.
Mhm.
Fading in and out.
So like, I'll try it. Okay, so I make a motion that we are in support of the of addressing or the parkade parking fee structure, and we support an option of free parking for 3-hour intervals in the parking parkade.
Did you get that, Clarissa? Oh. I need a
It's
second.
okay. We have the video and we can go back and look at it.
Okay, right. I need a second.
Second it.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
sorry, Gretchen.
I think Gretchen seconded it. Okay, all in favor of the 3-hour option of the parking structure option, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Anybody opposed? So I would like to say that without objection, that this was a unanimous decision of the Library Advisory Board. Is that correct? Anybody object to that?
that's good.
All right, we have a unanimous recommendation for 3 hours of free parking at the library. Okay. I think that's the end of our meeting. I just did want to say, we do not have a July meeting. Our bylaws say we skip July. So our next meeting will be in August. Our elections are in September. So I need people to be thinking about running for office. I do want to declare that I will run for president. Anybody else that wants to run, of course, jump in, but I just thought I would say that. I don't believe that Louise is running again for vice president or vice chair, so we will need a vice chair. Also, Sigrid, this is her last meeting. Sigrid Olson has been on this board for at least 6 years. Is that right, Sigrid?
Am I muted?
No, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I've done 2 terms. And this, I hate to say it, but I'm going to be honest. It's like husbands. This has been my favorite board. This group has been my favorite of the 8 years. Well, I feel like we've had so much more. It's been such a great brainstorming board. So I hope you keep doing that. Because and not that I'm in all due respect to everyone else, but I think it's important to talk and share ideas and not just keep track of the time all the time. I think it's super positive. You're going to do great things. I may apply for the Parks Board, which I've wanted to do for a while. So I'll try to stay involved. But I'll go to the library book sales and do that. So you guys are great and you're going to do great things. So excited.
Thank you very much for your service, Sigrid.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been a pleasure. I'm kind of sad, but it's great.
It is sad, and you have been an outspoken advocate for the library, an outspoken advocate for the friends of the library. We will miss you greatly. We will miss your honesty and your outspokenness. And even at times when you didn't know you were being recorded.
Yeah, no.
So, but I also feel like you have kind of represented the school district in a way, and that's important. We need to have alliances with all different kinds of community people. So we will miss you. I don't know who will take your place. Sarah, have we had anybody that actually, we don't have anybody that's applied.
No.
So I am talking to some folks that work in the school district with the Hispanic youth, and I think it would be great if we diversified our board a
Yeah.
little bit. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but other people, if you have ideas of somebody who might be good, they go to cityofsalem.net, and I think then there's a probably some little thing that says apply for boards. Is that right, Sarah?
Yeah, you can go to city government and on that page, or if you just search for board applications, it should take you right there. Our search function on the website is pretty good.
You know, while I'm on this, I just have something. Can I interrupt here for a second?
Yes, of course.
You know, I think maybe in that August meeting, this is just my last idea. And maybe the library has already put out a statement, but I know the school district has put out a statement in light of the recent events.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if maybe we should consider putting out a statement about how we support all, races, religions, ethnicities, or do we need to do that? I don't know, but we maybe need to look at in the future that this is kind of a moment of change and, show support for that. I don't know if we need to issue a statement or whatever, but it might be an idea in the future for all three boards to issue a statement that we continue to seek in our library programs representation of all different groups. I think this would probably be the time, and at least in the next little bit, to issue something like that, because it's being done. It's kind of I don't think it's lip service either. I think it's kind of a recommitment. You guys know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe not tonight, of course, but I would say that maybe in the fall or the next meeting, if the three boards would get a statement together saying that they do, you know what I'm talking about. Our school district just issued a statement today. And I know other businesses and people are doing that recommitment to, diversity. Okay, you get it.
Okay, Sarah, and then Catherine.
Thank you very much, Sigrid. And regardless of what this board decides to do, the directors of the CCRLS libraries are working on a statement for all of the member libraries of CCRLS. I don't know, it hasn't gone, it needs to go through college review too, as Chemeketa is the kind of overarching body that CCRLS is a part of, but we are working on a statement from the directors of the member libraries.
Catherine?
As a follow-up to a statement we might make, I wonder if we shouldn't follow that with some action and actually reach out to some organizations that represent other diverse backgrounds and try to solicit somebody to join the lab who might not otherwise think about it. Something worth thinking about.
Okay, I have another idea. I'm just on that, I'm thinking of this. I'm wondering if when we open up, we could maybe host an exhibit. I know Oregon Black Pioneers has a traveling exhibit. They did that at the city capitol. Okay, now this is brainstorming, so, but I just want it on the record before I leave, is that, and I'm interrupting you, right? I know that, but you might want to think about when the library kicks off, contacting Oregon Black Pioneers, which is another organization you may not know about, and having them, having an exhibit in the actual library about early Oregon pioneers in Salem. I think that would be kind of an idea. So we just maybe need to keep this on the idea that we do some action. I think that's great. We need to have a statement, and action would be great.
Sonia, are you still here?
Oh, I know.
I am.
Can we add that to Thursday's agenda for outreach and programming?
Absolutely, we can. Yeah, we've worked with them in the past. We had the exhibit at the library a number of years ago, and it's really an excellent, well done exhibit. Lots of great research. So yeah, I'll put it on the agenda for Thursday.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you're still here.
Another idea would be of trying to get diversity in the art that's shown at the library. And I don't know if you're going to continue to have the change of art exhibit that has been in the lobby, but I feel like that's a way of people having an opportunity to express themselves and to share with their neighbors and their family that their artwork is in there, even if it's a school kind of thing, you know? The Bush Barn used to do, and I don't know that they did it this year, but they used to do a art representing from the schools, an exhibit in May or June every year.
Yeah, we did it this year. We did it this year. It's the young artists exhibit.
Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful.
that might be a way of bringing people into the to showing themselves in the library, which will then be a magnet for other people coming to look who they are in communication with that we may not be directly accessible to.
Yeah.
You know, I have to go from the meeting because my granddaughter's graduation is now, so I have to go.
Yay.
Bye.
Thank you for the idea, Francine.
Thanks
All
for
right,
your
bye.
input. Thanks
Yeah.
for your motions.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to Catherine?
Catherine's right there. When Francine left, it just moved Catherine over.
Well, Catherine, so I am talking to a friend of mine that works as a school outreach person to help Hispanic youth graduate, and I'm hoping that she will give me the name of somebody that would Hispanic personage to be on the board. If that doesn't work, I would be willing to reach out to Mano y Mano, which is a great organization that works with Hispanic, the Hispanic population. Would that work for your idea?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, well, it
Maybe-
sounds like we've got some great stuff happening. Goodbye, Secret. It is so weird that we can't like hug you or something, but when we get together again, we'll at least write a card for you. I mean, I just feel bad.
No, you don't need to do that.
Well,
This
I
is
will.
this is great. No, you guys are great.
Sigrid,
well,
Carol here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you for your idea about this statement. I think that's a great idea. In fact, I will volunteer to draft something to circulate to people.
Yeah, I think it
or
would
whatever.
be good. Yeah, I think it would be good to issue it from all the three boards together.
Yeah, but somebody has to put it together, so I'm
Yeah.
volunteering
That'd be great.
if,
Yeah.
if that's okay with other folks.
thanks, Carol. Yeah, go for it, and then you can bring it to your board. We'll bring it to our board. Somebody will take it. Well,
We
Kate
can
will
make sure
take it. Kate will take it to the foundation. So
Okay,
we're cooking. Yay.
okay, I'll let Kate know too.
Okay, thanks, Carol. All right. Well, everybody stay well, stay in action. Yeah, love everybody, be kind. Okay? See you next time. See, no July, August. Bye,
August.
Sigrid.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks
Bye.
for everything.
Thank you all very
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.